Hello fellow teammates, welcome to this class. My name is Katrina Smith and I'm going to try and persuade you to use this curriculum. No, you do not have to, but it is free. It is free, it is play-based, and it is developed by some wonderful people. First off, I want to introduce myself. Like I said before, my name is Katrina Smith. I've worked in childcare now for 13 years. Pretty proud of that. I kind of started when my nephew was young and we just kind of went from there. Excuse me, technical difficulties. So yeah, let's just get into it. So I am actually a preschool 4-year-old teacher, but this curriculum is for toddlers ages 18 to 36 months. This is called Adventures for Toddlers. It's in the Better Beginning website, and I'll get to that in just a moment. First off, I wanted to ask, how many of you all work with toddlers? Yeah, wow, quite a few, you guys. Excellent. Would anybody like to share? Yeah, you did. You worked in childcare for 10 years. Okay, that's awesome. 10 years, round of applause, because that is successful. Because we, as childcare providers, the longer we stay, the more educated we are, right? Am I right? Maybe it's just my opinion then. Yes, you work with toddlers? Yes. Have you ever used a curriculum before, anyone? You do have a curriculum? Oh, you use that, yeah. You use that curriculum? That's an awesome curriculum. I believe we started with that curriculum, and that's not a wrong curriculum. It's not. Every curriculum fits people differently. This curriculum is a play-based curriculum, and that's how I want to kind of go towards that. Okay, well, let's begin. Like I said, this is from the Better Beginnings website. I'll show you how to navigate that soon. But right now, let's just go ahead and get started. This is the Adventures for Toddlers, 18 to 36 months. All right, let's start with the foundation. So this curriculum was developed by 3 wonderful ladies. One of which is, excuse me, I have my notes, Trudy Puckett, Dot Brown, and Beverly C. Wright. Okay, I don't want you to think, oh, these ladies are just in the high places. They don't know what they're talking about. They're just writing this stuff. They don't live it real life. Let me tell you. Every one of these ladies have worked in childcare before and worked in childcare of some sort while developing this curriculum. So that's where I can meet up with them. I feel like that they are with us. They are not against us. And they've seen it in real life. They know what toddlers do. They know how toddlers act. They see the real life toddlers, not the book toddler, not the television toddler, the real life toddler. So Miss Trudy Puckett, she was an early childhood instructor at Pulaski Tech College. Miss Dot Brown was and still is president of the Early Childhood Services Incorporated. And Miss Beverly C. Wright was the instructor at the University of Arkansas, Little Rock. So these ladies are in it. They have developed this. They have worked together. It took them several years to get it right, and it was revised in 2017. So it is at its best right now. That's not to say that they won't make more improvements, but right now this curriculum is at its best. And let me tell you why it's the best. This is a play-based curriculum. Those toddlers are going to be busy. They are going to be playing. They are going to be hands-on. The Adventures for Toddlers curriculum is a play-based curriculum. This aligns with PJ's theory of cognitive development. in his theory of play argues that as the children mature, their environments and play should encourage further cognitive and language development. What that means is you're gonna change that room. That you're gonna move it on. If some children are ready, then you'll move on. You'll keep on advancing. And those ones that are not just quite ready, they will keep up. You will come back. You will stay with them. But in PJ's theory, he says, as they grow, keep growing, because you're going to expand their mind. You're going to let them just learn and figure it out. And then the more they get to figure it out, and you're going to talk to them. You're going to develop that language skills that they need. Oh, they need it so much. Just talking right there. That is your number one priority. Talk to those babies because they want to hear you. Do they want to listen? Arguably, yes, they want to listen. But they also want to figure things out all on their own. And that's what this play-based curriculum is good for. It's good to let them figure it out sometimes. Let's move on. Oh, how does it compare to other curriculums? Oh, I'm going to look at my notes. Excuse me. All right, so Adventures in Toddlers has 30 topics to choose from. Some of those other curriculums, they don't have very many topics. Or they want you to stay on a topic for a certain amount of time. Not Adventures in Toddlers. There's no rhyme, there's no reason, there's no order that you have to do these in. There's just 30 topics that'll get you through those toddler years. And some of them you're going to revisit because as they grow and as they learn, they're going to keep moving and they're going to keep learning and you're going to come back to it. So book suggestions, but also the freedom to extend the learning. So it's not saying you can only use these books. These books are the only thing that's going to go with this curriculum. No, it gives you several suggestions. And you can even go off on your own to extend the learning. If they're not done learning about that, if they're not done learning about the community, people in their environment, or about the gardens that they're growing, you can extend that. And you have free will to do that. Where other curriculums are like, no, let's just stop it at that. We don't need that. Not all curriculums. I don't want you to feel like I'm targeting anyone's curriculum. This curriculum is just what I have chosen. And we're all here because you wanted to learn. You wanted to learn more about this curriculum to see if it's something that you would like to choose, right? Are we on the same page? Absolutely. Oh, you do. You do curriculum and it's similar. It's a little bit like this. Yes. I do want to hear more. Yes, but we do. Yes, we do. But we do need to read to those babies. You're absolutely right. We do need to read to those babies. Even though some of them don't like to be called babies. I still call everybody baby. Even my preschoolers. They sometimes get a little beside themselves and then I correct myself and I call them by name. But being Southern, it kind of just comes with the package. Am I right? Okay. So this curriculum, like I said, is flexible. You don't have to go in order. You don't have to do 1, 2, 3, 4. You can do 2, 7, 12, 29, 3, 4. You can come back to 2. Let's see. They're all hands-on activities. So you want the toddlers to be busy. You want them to learn and develop with multiple senses because that's how toddlers learn. We all know that. The toddlers learn with their 5 senses. All right, let's keep on moving. Allows children to be in charge of what they are learning. That goes back to if they're not done learning about that garden, if they're not done learning about that garden, you let them continue to learn about that garden. You let them plant more plants. You let them see how many colors will come out of the ground because that's what they're interested in. It doesn't become work. It doesn't become education in the sense of this is what you're learning. It's What do you want to learn? I'm going to show you the skills that you need in whatever activity you want to do. We can make it happen. That's what the curriculum says. Sometimes it says in other curriculums that there's a minimum time for playing, and there is a lot of sit-down time. Not in the Adventures for Toddlers. Those toddlers are up and moving. There is a small group time, but it is absolutely optional, and they do not have to participate. Even though those babies, there I go again, are not sitting with you, they're listening. I promise you, they're listening. They can hear you. They just may not want to go sit with you, and that's okay. We're not going to make them sit, are we? No. You're right. It's more disruptive than it is helpful to take your time and make that one baby sit down. Just let them play. Let them be. They're figuring something else out while you're reading that book and they're listening. All right. Okay, let's move on. It looks like we're ready to move on. Oh, how is the curriculum taught? So this is where we were looking at. This is what I was talking about when I said that toddlers learn with their 5 senses. They're putting things in their mouth. They're smelling them. They're touching them. They're looking at them. All of those things that they're doing. They just want to know. They want to know everything. Adventures for Toddlers offers many activities that are hands-on and age-appropriate. So there are young toddler activities in this curriculum, and there are older toddler activities in this curriculum. And if you have an older toddler that's not just quite ready to be on that stage, you can still do the younger toddler activity with them. Flexible to you and your babies in your classroom's needs. Toddlers learn at such a rapid rate in the early learning years that they're learning in many domains. And if you don't know what I mean by domains, I'm talking about the Seedles here. I'm going to grab my book. Oh, it is loved. This binder is just loved and has been used and abused, but this is what I'm talking about. These early learning standards. This curriculum follows these standards. Social and emotional, cognitive, physical, scientific practices. Yes, toddlers can do some. Here's some. It's broken down by age. If you need more information on this Seedles, there is a training online for this. But if you just need yourself a little copy, just come on over here, type this into your browser, and it'll pop up, and this is free. This is a printable. It's free. Anybody can get it. You don't have to ask your director. You don't have to ask for help. You find it, you print it, you keep it. And as you can see, I just put mine in this little notebook, and this thing is loved. It is used and abused, and it's actually cleaner today than it has been because I had a helper a couple days ago. They cleaned it up for me real nice. I appreciate that. But that's what I mean by learning domains. The social emotional skills, your cognitive development skills, your language development skills, your immersed literacy. There's a creative arts aesthetic domain. These toddlers are learning in all of those domains all the time. But toddlers are learning at a rapid rate. They are learning so quickly. Their brain is continuing to develop through and through every day. Toddlers are active. They use their 5 senses as a tool. We said that. Toddlers have their own individual needs. Most toddlers have a similar characteristics. So you have the toddlers that want to sit down. There's a couple of them that you may let them sit down at the sensory table. But those toddlers that don't want to sit down, it's okay. Let them play at the sensory table. They can stand up and play. It's flexible that way. And they're still using those senses if they're standing up or sitting down. So that's what I mean whenever some toddlers, there are several similarities in toddlers, but then they're still individual, unique people. And we have to treat them that way. And this curriculum helps support that. Oh, okay. Let's see what it looks like in our classroom. Can you see now? I apologize for the small screen. Technical difficulties. I could not get access to a smart board today or a projector or anything like that. So this is what we're dealing with right here. But it's there. And we can all read it together. And I have my little notes for it. So what does the curriculum look like in the classroom? Adventures for Toddlers supplies activities to help in the development of the toddler. So again, back to the CEDLs and the learning domains. It's telling you, it's giving you activities. It's giving you options for activities. And on those activities, it's telling you what domains are on there. That's what this is for. This curriculum offers activities for every interest center in your classroom. And if you don't know what I mean by interest centers, let's touch on that for just a tiny moment. Interest centers are areas that are separated from each other, but they are in the same classroom and they are accessible to the toddler all day long. So there are 5 areas that an older toddler needs. Younger toddlers need them too. They just don't have to be as well stocked. There's blocks, there is manipulatives, there is library, there is, sorry, my brain, it's just kind of trying to shut off on me. A music center and a gross motor center. Those are the 5 for infant and toddlers. Okay. But an interest center, again, like I said, is just an area that is, you have your music toys in a music center, in a music area where they can play and dance in uninterrupted activity over here. And then there is a block center where they can build without being interrupted. They can drive their cars. They can play with their people. They can build their houses, but it's an uninterrupted area, and it is an interest to them. It is an interest center. All right, the curriculum allows teachers to be more of a tool rather than the main focus. So I'm not asking the child to pay attention to me, to look at me, to see me. I am being an example. I am sitting with them and I'm allowing them to safely work out a problem or to cut or to draw or to paint, but I'm there. I will be an example and I will be there if they are to need me or if they want to extend the learning and I see that they've mastered this activity or this skill, I can add a challenge so that they can continue to learn in that area of that domain or that interest center or in that activity. This curriculum also provides activities that are age appropriate for young toddlers and older toddlers. I already expressed that earlier in this training, that older toddlers need more of a challenge where younger toddlers are just starting, but they do need to be challenged as well. And if your older toddler is not ready, move them on down to the younger toddler activity. It's okay because they will be ready for that older toddler activity soon. And if you have a younger toddler who you feel like is ready to do an older toddler activity, do so if you feel it is safe. Do so if you have the time to sit with them and to explain to them and keep them moving. Don't hold them back. Keep them moving. That's inside of the classroom. That's how this curriculum works in this classroom. And you take bits and pieces of the themes or the topics and you add them to the center. If you're on that garden topic, put some dirt in that sandbox instead of sand. Add some pretend flowers in that sandbox. Put a watering can in your water area, which is open only under supervision because drowning is a safety concern. Put some tractors in your block center and let them drive the tractor over a brown piece of construction paper like they're planting. That's what it means to put it inside of the classroom. All right, let's move on to assessing the children. Oh, think we went too far. Let's go back one. I apologize. Okay, here we go. Assessing toddlers. Adventures for Toddlers explains in detail what the child is learning, and from which domain they are learning it from. The domains being our CETLs. As the child participates or even stands back and observes during an activity, the toddler is developing their mind and ways of thinking. Like I said before, if that child is not participating in that activity, but they're standing there and they're watching you, they're watching their classmates, they're learning. They're using the cognitive development, they're using those social emotional skills of parallel play. They're playing beside someone. They may not interact, but they're listening. They're going to pay attention. So, and if they're not, then doing the developmentally appropriate practices, which is this book here, it'll help you to determine if there's a delay to be concerned. This book is not included in the curriculum, but it is an assessment tool. You can purchase this book online. You can purchase this book on Amazon. I don't think that there's an online option to have on your computer, but it would be something to research. We have this book in my center. I do not have it on my own, but we do have this book in our daycare center. All right, so let's move on. Let's see. Setting up the classroom. Okay, so allow space for toddlers to move safely. So this is an example of a younger toddler classroom. It's hard to see. There we go, back in the screen. Do you see how there's more open space? There's not as many centers. It's more simple. That's the word. It is more simple or simpler. Yes, it is simpler. Whereas an older toddler classroom, do you see there's more centers? There's more places to have activities, and the toddlers don't need as much running space for gross motor as a young toddler does. They need more spaces for activities and interest centers. So let's read right here. So allow space for toddlers to move around safely. Have toys organized on lower shelves. So when I say organized and on lower shelves, and you want to label them, those babies may not can read, but they can match the pictures. If you have colored blocks and you have the picture on the bucket and you have colored blocks labeled and it's marked on the shelf low where they can see it, they can match that. They can help clean that up. They can help put it away. And it gives them a sense of ownership of the classroom, that they're taking care of it and that they're being so helpful to help you clean up. They're going to be so proud. Provide multiples of the same toys to allow children to play side by side or together. That's where I'm coming at with the parallel play. Some toddlers are not ready to play with other children, or they may not want to play with other children, but it is fair for them to be able to have their own toy. So have 2 or 3 of the same monster truck. Have 2 or 3 tractors for your gardening activities in your block center. Of course, yes, there is a limit to how many children can be in each center. To an extent, you can break the rules a little bit, but have multiple toys is what it is. So there's fewer arguments, there's fewer competitions to get the attention to get that toy or that activity. So just have multiples of things. Curriculum suggests that well-defined areas with rugs, kitchen furniture, and storage shelves. So like I was saying, on the lower shelves, you want these shelves to be below their chest. It helps with supervision of the classroom, and it helps for the child to be able to reach, for the toys and activities to be accessible to the toddlers. Accessible means that they can do it without closed lids, without tightly sealed lids, without it being put away or put on a high shelf. Those are not accessible. And the rugs help define the areas. To have a race car carpet in your block center will show them to stay on the race car carpet when they're building. Have a cute little tie-dyed rug or a beige rug, whatever color rug you decide for your classroom that isn't too busy because you don't want the children to be overstimulated. A rug in your home living center with their little pretend kitchen and a little table for them to eat at and serve you at. I cannot tell you how much plastic spaghetti I have eaten in my days. Still my favorite though. Plastic spaghetti and orange juice. Always, always. Here is the areas that are suggested. It says a language area, a manipulative exploration area, gross and block area, sensory exploration area. Those are your sand and dirt tables. A pretend play area, which is your home living and dress up, and an outdoor experience. So make sure that there's a place where they can go and play and run, because toddlers need a licensing minimum of an hour of outdoor activity, if weather permitted, and appropriate clothing is worn. That's something that needs to be discussed with your parents. Most parents are pretty good about it. And for older toddlers to continue with older toddlers, continue to expand your areas. Like I said, older toddlers don't need more space to roam and run. They need more places to have activities and bigger areas to build those activities because they're in more detailed. All right, let's move on. Oh, we went the wrong way. I apologize. Okay. Oh, this is praises and criticisms of this curriculum. So these are all, for my opinions, and praises and criticisms that I've gotten as a teacher. So some of the praises that I've gotten, it says that this curriculum was introduced to me by Anna Warren of ASU Early Childhood Education. Miss Anna Warren came to our child care center, and we did not have the appropriate curriculum. The curriculum that we had was not play-based. It did not work. It made our day stressful. There were not wonderful results. Yes, some children had good results, but in an overall, it was not great. So Miss Anna Warren, that's a praise that I have to give for it to her, and I'm very grateful to her for that. I have had a great feedback from my parents in the last 5 years that have partaken in this curriculum. They just notice that their children are happy. Their children are ready to come to school. Their children are learning, and it's, like I said, it's not learning 1, 2, 3, square, circle, triangle. It's, Mom, the pizza is a triangle. I see you have 3 cupcakes, Mommy. Do you see how it's the same thing, but in real life? It's real life, play-based. I myself have seen a great impact this curriculum has had on my classmates. That's what I was saying. My children are happier. My children are ready to come in. They are very curious. It has heightened their senses. They seem to participate more, and they seem to want to take charge more. They want to be more helpful. They want to participate more, and they want to keep doing activities and keep learning. And when it's time to go, they don't even want to go home, guys. They're having such a good time, they want to stay and learn, which is another thing we have to learn, that sometimes it's okay to say goodbye, and I'll see you tomorrow, or I'll see you on Monday. It's a hard lesson, but sometimes we have to learn it. The behavior in my class is better. The speech in my class is better. Friendships are better. And I feel more connected with the children and their families with this curriculum. Before, it was kind of a cut and dry conversation. Here, Johnny made this today. Have a great day. That would be our discussion. Now my discussion sounds like, Aiden served me 3 cupcakes today, and Aiden's standing there behind me saying, yes, I gave her 3 cupcakes. That just means the world to me. And parents want to see those papers. They do, because having a physical worksheet, or having a physical tactile piece of paper saying this is what they learned today is what they were taught. They don't know any better. That's why we have to educate our parents and introduce them to this. And there's a letter at the beginning that you can send home with parents that tells them exactly what's going on. And they have adapted well. My parents have adapted well. Going back to the old school parents, I have had a few old school parents in the last few years that have expressed to me that the curriculum is silly and is a waste of time, that their children aren't learning anything if they are not doing worksheets. I just don't have anything nice to say about it. So I'm going to say this. I do not argue with the parent. I apologize for the way I may have represented the curriculum. I express to them the CEDLs, and I tell them we can set up personal meetings and we can adjust to help you understand what we're teaching. Not so much to say I'm going to change what we're working on or how I'm teaching them, but if the child needs to be challenged more, I'll accept that. I can accept that. I'm not going to accept that they want me to make their child sit down for 5 out of the 8 hours that they're at school. They're toddlers. It's just not in it. It's just not there. But that's been the only criticism that I've had. And it's not even my criticism. It's criticism that parents have given to me. But it's only been a few. And when I say a few, out of 13 years, I've had maybe six parents. And more then than I do now. I've had 2 in the last 2 years. So on that one. Oh, and so let's get back to the Arkansas CEDLs. Woo. And here's how the curriculum expresses that. Adventures in Toddlers explains in detail each learning goal that is being set for the toddler per activity. So here we have our sensory bottles. I brought 3 for some examples. Sensory bottles. And yes, this is recycled. These are recycled. I don't know if you can hear that. But these are sensory bottles. These sensory bottles here, it shows curiosity and willing to try new things. If I just set this in front of you, what would you think? Would you want to try it? Yes, here, you sure can try it. Here, we can pass these around. And this is heavy. So I'm holding it, it's heavy. Now, these are glued. These are glued tight. And they are supervised when playing with these so that nobody's thrown. Here you are, you can pass these on around. This is one of our favorites. These are Orbeez. Again, it is glued tight, and this is a recycled water bottle. These are some of those Orbeez and just some water and food coloring. So they're willing to try new things with these. And it says it shows flexibility in adjusting thinking and behavior to different contexts. So while I'm reading a story, if they want to do these, this is keeping them busy while they're listening. Or if we're in between activities, or if this is our activity. Do you see how the Orbeez are blue? Well, the water is red, which makes the bottle purple. It's one of my favorites, and I love the sound. It's a squishy sound. This one is, thank you. This one is great because it sounds almost like rain. which we have made these in our music center before. But you see how the colors are? This is just marshmallows and grits, guys. Marshmallows and grits. Things that I had at my house. Anywho, coming back to it, because I can just look at those all day long, along with the children. They love it too. Each curriculum will show what your learning goal is. This is what you want them to learn when you do this activity. So having these water bottles full of awesome liquids and colors, it sparks their curiosity, and they're going to want to try. They're going to want to do it. And the more they build that bond with me, the more they'll trust me, and they'll trust that I have something really neat and really cool for them to play with, and they'll want to do the activity with me. So these seedles, like I said, here's our seedles. Let me open it up for you. Arkansas Child Development and Early Learning Standards, birth. See that? It says birth. So even those babies to 60 months old. So that they cover it. So if you don't completely understand what the seedles are, look them up in your seat. If you don't understand what the learning goal is, look them up in the seedles. Again, like I said, this is free. It's a free purchase. You don't have to buy it. You just have to print it. That's it. You don't even have to print it in color. The color is great. But if you're trying to save money for your center or try to save money on your own printer, print it black and white. It does the same thing. And so the curriculum also covers, as you can see, sensory activities and food and nutrition activities. You name it, it is in here in this curriculum. And it's amazing, and it will continue to be amazing, and I will continue to be amazed. If you have any questions, you can give me a call. I'll have my business card for you. My email is ksmith39@uafs.edu. But that's the end of this training. If you have any other questions, just give me an email. Shoot me an email. Thank you for your time.